I don't know, but you want to try.
Am I spread a little thin right now? Yes, just a little bit. Now, my original plan for today was to compare the Pocket 4 and the Action 6 to my new little toy that they just sent me, which is the Xtra Atto. However, I have a lot of stuff I have to do. So one of the things is I have to film my TikTok shop videos, and right now my volume is way higher than it should be because there's a campaign going on. Basically, if you don't know TikTok shop, right now they're pumping ad spend, so a lot of the videos are converting better. So I want to make as much videos as I can while it's still hot. Additionally, I have a bunch of errands I have to run. I have to do my safety check. I have to change my oil. I have to call my tax lady. There's a bunch of errands I have to run, and I don't think that taking multiple cameras and trying to get multiple shots is in my best interest right now. So I am spread super thin. That being said, I think we can still do a camera review of the Xtra Atto. Now, this was sent to me through TikTok from the brand Xtra, and it's basically a DJI Nano. So I'm gonna be taking this along with me today as I do my various things. And I'll be going over the settings after the video, because what's the point of me going through all these settings and then you don't like the video quality? Why would you copy it? So instead, I'm gonna just shoot with this thing. So once I'm done vlogging for the day with the Xtra Atto, then you can decide, okay, maybe I wanna take those settings and use it for myself if you decide to buy this camera. Before we get into it, this is the exact same camera as the DJI Nanos. It's just white, and this is the American owned brand. And other than that, there is a square bezel here. So if you're trying to put on some screw-on ND filters, it's not gonna work. But I'm moving away from doing all the ND filter stuff and trying to be cinematic because it just takes time, and carrying a lot of gear causes friction. So I am going full auto with this baby. Not full auto. I have settings that I'm gonna set and forget, and that's the only settings I'm gonna use. And I'm gonna take this with me everywhere today. With that said, before I start rambling on more, I'll see you guys in the rest of the video. So let me just say that if you had any doubts about this camera being a DJI camera, this camera works right out of the box with my DJI Mic 3. So that should put that argument to rest. So as you know, most cameras do work with the DJI Mic 3s, but you have to put in the receiver. However, if you're part of the DJI ecosystem, if you have a DJI camera, you only need the microphones. And I don't have anything plugged into this camera right now. I only have this microphone, and the software works exactly the same. So again, this is the exact same camera. All right, currently we're actually filming in low light. And the way I'm able to pull this off with the Xtra Atto is I actually have this removable light, and it magnetically attaches to the base. So I can actually film in low light. And let me know how this looks. And let's go ahead and get our day started and see how this performs in the real world. I'm not gonna use any other cameras probably until the end of this vlog. And I'm hoping that this is the new camera that I take everywhere with me, because it's actually super portable. I can take it anywhere. And if it does work out and the image quality is good, then why not just use this as my main camera?
You were young and innocent then. Do you remember how it all began? It just seemed like heaven, so I did it. And do you remember? You be back in the fall. You be back again. All day long. Do you remember?
So one of the things I mentioned in my Osmo Pocket 4 video was about being frictionless. And the thing about the Osmo Pocket 4, it's a great camera, trust me. And I've been building this thing to be as frictionless as possible. And I do believe that in a vacuum, the system I've built with the tripod and the case cover and the ND filters and stuff are all great. But at the end of the day, it's still not perfect. For the everyday user, someone who's just gonna grab and go, and they don't wanna have to fuss around with carrying this, no, not huge, but semi-big stick like the Pocket 4, it's just not feasible, especially someone that works a 9 to 5. But having a small action camera like this that you can mount anywhere, take anywhere with you, just fits in your pocket, I think that is the beauty of this camera. Of course, it's not ultra cinematic, but you can make it as cinematic as you want, and most of the time that stuff doesn't matter. What matters is that you're able to capture your life and vlog it and document it. So before I take off to Starbucks, I'm sitting in my truck in complete darkness. I wanted to show you how I've set up my car in a way that you can mount this thing basically anywhere. So right now I'm attached to the vision dock. So I'm gonna detach this, and it might get a little dark here. And I have this little mount right here, as you can see. So this is the vision dock, and I have the mount right here. That's a magnetic mount. And if I just attach it right here, I have, you know, a place to put the camera. In addition to that, I also have, and if I just connect it like that, now I have a POV of me driving. I also have this little dock right here, and I have a special mount for the DJI mount right here. And I've also got this suction cup mount. So if I just remove the Atto like so, I can actually stick this to any flat surface. We are now mounted this way, and I can get some other cool angles. So I finally got my Starbucks, and luckily it's still cold. And honestly, I don't normally sit out here that often. I normally grab my coffee and go, but we are off today, and a series of unfortunate events has happened. Nowhere is available for a safety check or oil, which means I can't do my registration as well, because you can't do your registration without the safety. And without a reason to go out to those places, I don't really feel like bringing my drone so I can shoot my other videos. However, this is a good chance for me to test out how good this camera is. So right now I'm on complete auto settings, and it looks like the sky is visible, which is a good sign, because usually when I film on manual mode, it tends to get blown out because I want to use a low shutter speed, like 1/50 shutter speed, 24 frames per second, and it tends to blow out the skies. But I am shooting in X-Log, which is the equivalent of D-Log-M, and it looks like the sky is pretty visible. So I'm hoping that after post that this color grade will come out pretty good. And to be honest, it looks pretty good. It almost looks like my Action 6, so I'm not going to complain here. One of the key features that I love about this camera is that it's magnetic, and you can basically put this anywhere you want. You can detach this from the vision dock, but a lot of times when you have the microphone connected and the vision dock, then it doesn't allow you to have that screen on the front. So I'm a person that needs to see the camera screen on the front so I can see if I'm in frame, because these lenses throw me off. But assuming that you're not connected to a microphone and you're just looking at the vision dock, this looks pretty good in my opinion. And again, I am shooting in 4:3, which means that I think it's close to being a square sensor. I can reuse this as vertical or horizontal content. I've actually never shot in this format before, and if it does good, then I might start using it. But the settings so far looks pretty good. I actually found these settings from another YouTube video, and it's almost like a hybrid auto setting where we have like the D-Log or X-Log equivalent, but instead of using manual shutter speeds, we're using a variable shutter speed, which is like I think 1/200 to 1/8000, but we're not going so crazy that the footage is blown out. And also I'm not using an ND filter right now. I'm curious to see how this footage comes out without any ND filter. A lot of people recommend using -0.7 for the EV, and I want to test that out right now, so I just switched it over. Earlier I was in 0.3, and I think this is going to be a good metric to see how the camera performs with negative EV of 0.7. A lot of times I film in like darker places because I'm indoor. I'm a indoor person, and that tends to make the footage look really dark. But if I'm outdoors, maybe 0.7 is the way to go. So this is actually -1.3, and I'm in the shade right now, but let's see how it looks if I go directly into the sunlight and see if I get like way blown out or look too dark. So I'm not gonna go through every EV, but that just gives you an idea of what it looks like when I have that cranked down. To me on screen, this looks way too dark. I can't see my face, but it could be the fact that I'm wearing a hat. But yeah, looks pretty good to me either way. I always use the sky as a metric to see what looks good or not, and I think it's doing a good job. Okay, let me just start by saying that I am actually using my Action 6 right now, and I was using this camera to record some TikTok videos so I could promote the Xtra Atto. And I know I've probably already shown some of the footage like at this point in the video, but I was filming in the sun. Of course, I'm filming in the dark right now, but man, you know what? Man, this video is supposed to be about the Xtra Atto, and every time I come back to the Action 6, I kind of fall in love with it. It's such a weird thing. Like, I go to the Pocket 3 and then I go to the Nano and I'm like, oh, this is so cool, or the Atto. And then I realized that, dang, this is actually a pretty good camera. I know you have the removable dock and you can see it, but I don't know if I talked about it earlier because my brain's all scattered because I filmed TikTok videos where I was talking about the features, and then now I'm on YouTube. What I was trying to say is that when you have the mic plugged into this and then you remove it from the dock and it's separate, you end up not being able to use the vision dock. Like, it goes blank, which I hate. But with the action cameras, like the Action 6, the Action 5, the Xtra Edge, you have this screen on the front so you can see if you're in frame, and I love that because I always constantly check if I'm in the frame and to make sure that the white balance and all the other stuff looks good. And to me, this camera, the battery life on it's amazing. You don't ever have to worry about overheating. And I don't know, just something about this camera, it just seems like, you know, it's rugged. With the Pocket 4, it's long, and then I'm afraid that I'm gonna damage the gimbal. And to me, and a lot of times I just don't take out the Pocket 4 because it's just too hard for me to use it. It's just, there's so many pieces, and right now I have some like semi-auto settings. If you guys like the way this looks, then I will post the settings for the Action 6. This is not an Action 6 video. I just wanted to say that I think at the end of the day, the camera that I'm looking for, the frictionless camera, is gonna be the Action 6 because it's just a small camera that does good enough. And of course, I haven't seen the footage on this right now. Earlier, I was filming in the bright sun and it looked amazing. Right now, I'm sitting in the dark in my car and I'm using this removable fill light, but it attaches magnetically to the back. It also attaches onto the Nano, but I wanted to test out how the actual noise looked on here. And I am filming in the dark, but I have the ISO variable cranked to like some crazy number, 25/600, and I'm very curious to see how that turns out. But I'm gonna go into the house right now and I'll check how the footage looks, and then you guys can make that decision. If you guys are looking to buy the Action 6, the Pocket 4, or the Atto, this should help your decision-making process. Nick from the future here. So I didn't end up going upstairs and recording the rest of this video. I got busy with the rest of my work. But what I did do is I ended up going to the movies later that night with Julie. When I was back in that car a couple scenes ago, I ended up falling in love with the Action 6 so much that we decided to go to the movies that night, and I took the Action 6 with me pretty much everywhere. And I basically just wanted to test if I could just use this thing, throw this thing in my pocket as is, and see how well it does. And it actually performed pretty well. I realized that earlier when I was in the car, I was using my regular settings and not low light, but I was just cranking up the ISO. So obviously it's dark right now, so the noise on here should be crazy. But if I can minimize it and it looks okay, then we should be in good shape to use this in low light ISO. When in actuality, the low light mode on this is actually pretty freaking good. I know this is supposed to be an Xtra Atto video, and I ended up pivoting to Action 6. And I do think it's worth mentioning that there are use cases for using both cameras, and they're gonna fit each person separately. I think if you're the type of person who is a little more shy, or you wanna use a lot of different angles and attachments, having the Xtra Atto is super useful because it has those magnetic features. You can attach this to pretty much any magnetic surface. And then you have the chest mount, you have the hat mount, you have all that stuff that you can mount it to and get those unique creative shots. For me personally, I don't get as much creative shots as I probably should. I guess maybe at this point in my journey, because I'm so focused on doing so many other things, I'm not so creative on YouTube. I'm more so about getting maybe an establishing shot, also just talking into the camera like if I was talking on this Sony. So for me, this is more like a mini vlogging camera. The battery life on this is killer. The fact that the screen goes out often when you have a DJI mic, which is like 50% of the time that I would be using the camera, not being able to see yourself on the front is a big deal. So do I think this is a great camera? I freaking love this camera. Would I use this as my everyday camera? I don't think so. I think if you want to pick up one camera that's gonna do everything. Literally everything is the Action 6. Another reason is this whole body is waterproof. You can drop this whole thing in the toilet and it'll be completely fine. With this one, yes, it's nice that this is waterproof because that's where the camera's at. But I don't like the fact that, say it's raining really hard here in Hawaii and I walk out into the rain, I have to worry if I damage this or not. After using it for this past weekend and getting a ton of cool B-roll and shots, I think that the way to go is to go full auto on this bad boy. Don't worry about ND filters. Don't have it so that you literally just push one button unless it's low light, and then you swap to the low light mode, and that's it. If you're on the fence of what camera should you buy and you want to just be one and done, I think the Action 6 is a killer camera. I don't see another camera other than maybe like an Action 7 beating this camera out. It's that good. I know my vlogs have been kind of boring lately, but subscribers have been going up. We're at 53 subscribers, so I appreciate you guys dropping in, showing some love, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Movie theaters hate to see us coming when we're hungry. Or actually, they love it.